Well, good afternoon, and welcome to the Idahoan Show. Today I'd like to finish up this series I've been doing on shotgun ammunition by testing some more exotic types of ammunition. I've got some shot loads where the shot is encapsulated inside a cloth sack that's been closed with a wire crimp. So it'll be interesting to see if the cloth actually encapsulates the shot and causes it to act more like a slug until it hits the target, or whether the shot simply shreds the bag and acts like a normal shot load. I've also got some loads that use cylindrical shot instead of spherical shot, and I've got two types of those loads. I've got very low aspect ratio cylindrical shot where the shot approximates a flat disc. And I've got two types of that, both lead discs and steel discs. Then I've also got some high aspect ratio cylindrical shot, where the shot approximates a long rod or pin. And again, I've got two types of that. In this case, they're both steel, but one load uses 1/8 inch diameter rods and the other one uses 1/16 inch diameter rods. So it'll be interesting to see what some of these things will do to our standard 1-inch pine board, our stated lethality test. I've got targets set up down there at 5, 10, and 20 yards. So without further ado, let's see what these rounds are capable of. Well, sure enough, the cloth bag was just getting shredded and the shot was spreading out as usual. So I guess that's another idea that sounded great in principle but didn't work so well in practice. Now let's try the steel discs. Well, as you saw, that steel disc shot is very effective at 5 yards, but by the time you get to 10, it's spread out enough that only 2 discs actually hit the target, and they only went about halfway through our 1-inch pine board. At 20 yards, there were no marks on the target, so either the shot has spread out so much that we're not hitting it at all, which is my first guess, or it's slowed down so much that those that are hitting aren't leaving any kind of a mark, which is also possible. Anyway, now let's try the lead discs. So the lead discs were effective out to 10 yards. But beyond that, they were spreading out too much. So once again, no marks on the target at 20 yards. Now let's try the small diameter rods. Well, as you saw, the small diameter rods were effective at 5 yards. Out at 10, they were entering the surface of the board, but they were not penetrating, or very few of them were. I did see one kind of bent around and sticking out the back. And at 20 yards, only a few of them were hitting the target, and the ones that were, obviously, were not going through. Now we'll try the larger diameter rods. Well, the larger diameter rods were penetrating cleanly at 10 yards, but by the time we got out to 20, the pattern density was so low we weren't hitting the target again. As often happens with those larger sized projectiles, since you don't have as many per shell. Anyway, while all the rounds that we've seen today are clearly effective at close range, We have yet to test anything that provides better overall lethality based on our 1-inch pine board test than good old standard number 2 birdshot, or number 4 birdshot if you've got a choked shotgun. So I think the moral of our story is, all these exotic loads are, maybe interesting to think about, may have some unique properties. Certainly those small diameter rods would make a really messy wound. I don't think I'd want to clean an animal that I'd shot with something like that, and I certainly don't envy a surgeon trying to patch up a person who'd been hit with something like that. But really, for overall performance, you can't beat good old-fashioned birdshot. Seems to be the conclusion that we can draw from all this testing. Anyway, thanks for watching the Idahoan Show.